Hi guys, I'm trainer Dan and we're going to have a look at the standing military shoulder press with a barbell. And it's a great exercise, really good for lots of kind of aims and goals. So whether it is you're working out for fitness, you're just looking for toning, you're looking for putting some mass on, this is a very, very good go-to. It's a great strength builder and also really good for building mass and also performance. So any sport, any aim, any goal, there's a function for this exercise and it is really good. So I'm going to get through some basics. It is super simple to set up. There are a couple little things that we're going to sort of look at. And you can go wide with this grip, but I've labelled it as a standard, and as a standard I'll come in a little bit closer so that you are just about, your hands are just sitting on the outside of the shoulders slightly. Not too close, because if it's too close you're going to cut too much into the triceps and we don't want that, and we don't get enough stretch or enough stimulation through the shoulders. If you can see my lines on the bar there, you should have them on yours if you're using the Olympic bar. If you haven't, don't worry, you can kind of gauge it with your shoulders. But if you have got the lines, index finger just on those mid lines there, and that will give you a nice sort of position to start off with. Once you're locked off into position, your best starting position is always stick a slight bend in the knees. Now, there's two reasons for this. One, you're going to sit on the pelvis. It'll give you a chance to sort of really engage the core. And then when you get through that range, you can work nice and strictly, trying to hold all that weight through the midsection if you pull your belly button in tight. And I'm just sitting through on my pelvis there as I go through that range of movement. Now, the second reason is I can use it as a cheat. Now, I know you're going to say you shouldn't be cheating, but sometimes you need to. So if you're shifting a lot of weight through this exercise and you're really starting to fatigue, rather than sort of leaning back and losing your position, it's quite easy to just put a little bend in and a little shuffle just to get it through that sticking point. Now, another recommendation I'm going to sort of give to you from here is if you have got to that point and you know your sort of smooth reps are now no longer there, and so you do need that little bit of a chuck up, always try and exaggerate the eccentric, okay? Because what's happened is you've kind of bounced yourself out of the range of movement in a sense, okay? So where all the stimulation is going to be on the shoulders, you've bounced out on that concentric on the way up. So always just try and resist it that little bit more. It's only going to be the last few reps anyway, isn't it? You're not going to struggle all the way through on all of them. And then the same again on that next one, just give it a little bit of resistance on the way down. I'll put that back as I'm feeling my shoulders starting to burn there. But that is your basics. Don't have locked legs, because what will happen is you'll start to lean backwards and it's just not good on the back. Keep that slight bend, so you're sitting in on the hips, pull that belly button in tight, and you've got the opportunity to stay nice and smooth, keeping them reps just nice and tight, or if needs be, if you fatigue, you can put a little bounce through those repetitions.